Alright guys, welcome to the channel. So in this video I'm going to be talking about what a PIP is, how it's calculated and why you need to know this when you're trading. Right, this is probably one of the most commonly asked questions for beginners and it really is quite basic, so if you need to refer back to this video, make sure you do. But if you take a look here, right, we'll use Euro US dollar as the example, right? So if you take a look where my cursor is, to the top right hand side of the screen, it says Euro US dollar, then next to it we've got the quote of the currency. So it says 1.1793, right? So if we just write that down, so if you see there's actually a smaller number there as well, and that is it's a fractional pip, right? So you don't actually have to, I just ignore that number. You don't actually have to pay attention to that, so I won't write it, we'll just ignore it. Okay, and what a pip is, it's the smallest value that a currency pair can move. Okay, so the number 3, the last digit on this quote is a pip, right? That is 1 pip, or 1 point, right? And what pip stands for? It stands for percentage in points, but you don't really need to know that, right? Just know that 1 pip is the 4th decimal point on most currency pairs, on the exception of the yen pairs, right? The Japanese yen. Now the Japanese yen pairs will be quoted to 2 points. So this is all yen pairs, like the Aussie yen, you can see here, New Zealand yen, pound yen, anything with the yen in it, euro yen, right? Anything with the yen in it is going to be quoted like this. So if we just take the pound yen, for example, so 137.34, and again there is another number on the end, but it's a fractional pip. You don't need to just ignore that value completely. So yen pairs will be quoted to 2 decimal places, and when they're quoted to 2 decimal places, your last number is going to be the pip, right? And when it's quoted to 4 decimal places, which all the other pairs will be, a lot of your indices will be as well. In the commodities, you're going to have gold is quoted to 2, oil and gas as well is quoted to 2 decimal places, right? So you've got gold, oil and gas as well that will also be quoted to 2 decimal places. And again, it doesn't change, the last value is 1 pip, right? And if we're looking at the quotation written like this, then again the last value will be 1 pip. And as I said, pip just stands for percentage in points, right? And pip is it's a Forex term. So in the stock market, if you hear people say about points, right, they're referring to the same thing, okay? So pips or points, they're referring to the same thing. Traditionally in the Forex market, you call them pips instead of points. Let's just have a look at some more examples and I'll show you then how a pip is calculated and how it can help you in trading, right? So if you take a look at where my crosshair is now, and I put it just where this bar is moving, this candlestick here, put it just where price is moving, that is where price is at the moment, okay? And if you take a look at the green box here, on the right hand side of my screen, that shows exactly where price is moving and what it's doing. So at the moment price is at 1.1791, okay, and obviously we're only going to 4 decimal places, so we ignore the 5th decimal place, okay, and that is where we are at the moment. And let's pretend that the price goes up 10 pips, right? The number will then be 1.1800, okay, because obviously this has gone up 10 pips, right? If we went down 10 pips from this point, then we'd be at 1.1780, okay, so up 10 pips, down 10 pips. Alright, so how do we calculate pip value, right? So pip value, there's a little formula that we need to know. We don't necessarily need to know it, but it is good to know. A lot of the platforms and the platforms you're going to use will calculate this for you, so you don't necessarily have to go off and have loads of homework, as it were, and just sort of go off and make sure you've got this ingrained. It is helpful to know this, but just know that don't get overwhelmed by this stuff, because there is calculators and different things you can use out there to help you, which we'll get to later, but it's just good to know this stuff, right? So, and the formula for calculating pip value is 0.0001, right? So, you know, the 1 pip over divided by your exchange rate. So to determine the pip value, we need to do 0.0001, so 1 pip divided by our exchange rate, okay? And our exchange rate is this value here, so the number that has been quoted. So for the euro US dollar, so let's just write that up here, euro US dollar. At the moment, we want to find out our pip value for the euro US dollar. So we need 0.001, right, divided 1.1788 currently, okay? Okay, so 0.000843, right? And that is euros. If euro US dollar moves 1 pip, then that is effectively, at this exchange rate, that is effectively how much we could make. So say like we was to buy euro or buy euro US dollar, and it goes up 1 pip, and then we sold it, we would make 0.000084p. Now, there's an issue there, right? That number is tiny. Even if we was to, I don't know, let's say, even if the price was to move 1,000 pips, right? So again, even if the market moved 1,000 pips, which is a massive move, then we'd only stand to make 8 cents. Right, so this is where leverage comes in, and basically what leverage is, in simple terms, is basically the broker lending us money, right, so that we can trade with so we can control a much larger position than we actually have the capital for in our account. And what they do, they leverage our position. So if you want to find out more about leverage, check out the next video in the playlist where I'll go through in detail what leverage is, how it helps you, and some things that you really need to be aware of when using and trading with leverage. Alright, so that's it, pretty simple, right? I hope you got value from that. If you did, drop us a like and a comment. And if you didn't already know, this video is part of a series that I'm doing called Build a Solid Foundation, where the idea of that playlist is to take you from novice to consistently profitable trader as efficiently as possible. So make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so that you're notified anytime this playlist gets updated. And if there's something that you may be interested in, then make sure that you check out the next video in this playlist.